Hi, I'm John. I'm an engineer and I've got a few lockdown projects going on. I've got a Playseat challenge and a T300RS steering wheel for my little gaming rig. The first project is a tactile transducer. I'm doing a handbrake and also a sequential shifter. So this is my handbrake. I got it off eBay for less than £10. It's off a VW Golf, I think it was. And all I've done is replace this component where the cable is normally attached to on this rod. That's part of the original handbrake. Just replace that with a spring and a couple washers. I put a few flange nuts like this, either side of the spring, just to centralize it on that rod, stop it binding or catching. I was lucky in that the angle of this back plate here is pretty much perpendicular to the actuator, so it doesn't pull at a funny angle when you pull the handbrake up. I've used the standard, get some light on it. I've used the standard switch here and just put some wires on it to extend to the R3 button on the T300RS. The last thing I did is just to put a bolt in the handbrake button mechanism to stop the latching. The spring I just had lying around, it's about a 2mm wire diameter. All you need to do is make sure that it's the appropriate length for the rod you've got, and that you've got a bit of pre-tension on there. This rod is threaded to about here, so I put some additional spaces in there just to take up some of the slack, so that you've got tension, or you've got some preload and some tension on the handbrake. As I said, this was the original switch. Basically, as soon as you pull the handbrake up, that throws the light on the dashboard to say that your handbrake is up, and all we're doing is tapping off that, going into the R3 button on the L3 on the T300. So as soon as you pull the handbrake up, then it fires the switch. This is where I'm going to put the handbrake on my Playseat challenge. It's just the front bar of the wheelbase there. There's two U-bolts that just go through into a piece of wood. That's then drilled for a bracket. You can obviously put the handbrake whatever orientation you want. I wanted a rally handbrake, so instead of pulling it upwards, it'll be mounted like this, and you just pull it back towards you. In case you're wondering, this bar is it's a U-channel bar that attaches to the main. There's an M10, I think, bolt underneath the wheelbase that goes all the way through, and I've just mounted my gear shifter on there. Okay, so the handbrake is now installed on the rig. So it looks like from driver's view, it's about the same height as the steering wheel. I might need to move it a little bit when the sequential shifter comes along. Once I put it on the rig, I found the spring tension wasn't quite good enough, so I've changed the spring just for a slightly stronger and longer one. So there's a bit more tension on the handbrake. There's a bit more throw, but to be honest, that doesn't make a difference, because as soon as you're off the stops, the handbrake's activated. And then this was the wiring that just goes to I've put a plug on there, so you can disconnect and connect it as you want to. And that plug on the other side just taps into the R3 button wiring and the ground to mimic that circuit. So just going onto the button mapping now. Handbrake currently R2. Okay, R3.
3, 2, 1, go. 50, 6 left 30, turn square right, into 3 left long, opens over crest, into 5 right long, tightens toe, opens over crest, into 4 left, into 5 right, into 4 left, don't cut, into 3 right.
So that's my video for the DIY handbrake on T300RS. As before, it was a how I did it rather than a how to necessarily. So mine was quite cheap and cheerful, but hopefully there's some useful tips in there. Good luck if you try it and enjoy. Thanks.